Hiya.
I'm bored.
Oh, have you done your homework?
Yeah?
I'll come and check it, shall I?
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you a story first?
Why can't I tell you a story?
You want to tell me a story?
Yeah.
Okay. You come. Would that be alright, yeah?
What would you like?
How about a story about things you like? Fairies and music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's good. Fairies.
A fairy story, yeah.
Well, these fairies are from folklore.
Real fairies from Scottish folklore.
Yeah.
Ooh. Are we ready? Are you ready for the story? Okay. I'm sitting comfortably.
Okay. Many years ago, there was a man called Duncan, and he played the flute. One day, he was asked to go and play at the wedding, but he wanted to put his best coat on, so he did, and he got his sporran on and put a bannock inside, and his wife gave him a kiss. "Don't worry, dear, I'll not be late," said Duncan. And off he set. He was halfway where he was going, and then he got hungry. So he sat on a wee hiln to eat his bannock. And when he was on the hiln and he was eating his bannock, he was thinking about his tunes he was going to play. As he was thinking about his tunes, he was starting to tap his feet. And then, suddenly, he noticed he was on a fairy hill. And really carefully, he tiptoes off the fairy hill. Maybe he's woken up the fairies and they'll be grumpy. He looks around and he can't see any fairies. And he goes, "Phew!" and continues walking to go to the wedding. Well, he forgot all about it because the wedding was really fun. Played lots of really great tunes. And people clapped him. He promised his wife he wouldn't be late. And he left before the party finished to walk home. And he came to the fairy hill. And this time, the fairies were waiting for him. Queen of the fairies looked angry. "You waked us up this morning by tapping your feet on our roof." Duncan knew he was in danger, so he said sorry. "Tapping my feet because I was thinking of a tune to play." The Faerie Queen said, "Are you a musician?" Duncan said, "Yes, I play the flute." Faerie Queen says, "Well, you play for us and we'll forgive you." So Duncan knew he had to play for the fairies. Then a door opened in the fairy hill, and the Faerie Queen took him down into Faerie Land. When he got there, Faerie Land looked like, well, Faerie Land. And he put the flute to his lips and played. was too slow, said the Faerie Queen. So Duncan played another tune. Well, that was good, but can you play something good for dancing? Said the Faerie Queen. So Duncan had a real think. No. No. Yeah! He knew what tune to play. The fairies loved it. They clapped their hands and tapped their feet. And then at the end of that, the Faerie Queen said, "That was braw." And she opened the door, let Duncan out of Faerie Land, walked as fast as he could back to his house. And when his wife saw him, she ran up to him and gave him a hug. "Thought you were lost forever." And Duncan looked confused. "I'm sorry I'm a wee bit late," he said. "Wee bit late," said his wife. "He's been missing for 3 weeks. And then Duncan realised his time in Faerie Land only 30 minutes. But in human time, it was 3 weeks. Thank goodness he thought of that tune. Otherwise, he might be still trapped in Faerie Land. And so, if ever you see a strange looking hill, just be careful. It might be a fairy hill. And if it is, otherwise there might be trouble. Except the fairies. So that's my story.
That is a really good story. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Well, Dad, it wasn't just for you. It was the children at home.
For the children at home.
But it's especially for my sister Manya.
Oh.
Dad?
Yeah?
Why can't the children at home tell a story to their mum and dad?
Maybe the children at home could tell a story to their mum and dad or their granny or granddad, or even just make a wee film of it. Have you got any tips for telling a story?
Yeah. Why don't you do a story that you love?
A story that you love. That's a good start, isn't it?
Dad,
Uh-huh.
we have to say thank you for Steve playing the music.
Oh, yeah. The person playing the music is Steve Shields. He plays in the Drouthy Neebors, beautiful player of the flute and many other instruments. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
So, you want to play?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope you've enjoyed just this episode of Tim's Story Time by Skye, and maybe at home you guys can tell stories too. Choose a story, as Skye tells you, that you love, story that you like, and once you like the story, you can map it out. You can write it down and put it in pictures, and then you try and remember it in your head and practice it, and then when you're ready, tell the story when people have time to listen.
You can tell the story to Dad. Why don't you post it to Dad?
You can even tell that story if you want to. So we say bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye. think the fairies would like my playing?
9.